Welcome to part 15 of Vegas Pro Essentials. Quite often in post-production, you'll create or be supplied with different types of media. Video is the obvious one, but it's also fairly common to import still images. For example, you can use photos to create an animated montage or graphics for titling and branding. To import still images, you use the same techniques as if you were importing any other type of file. You can drag and drop the files directly to the timeline from Windows Explorer, or use the built-in Explorer window to import media. By default, the still image is created as an event with a 5-second duration. This is just the default length because stills can be any length you want. Just trim the event to make it longer or shorter. If you want to change the default 5-second length, go to the Options menu and open the Preferences. Under the Editing tab, you can change the new still image length to whatever you need. One other aspect of importing stills depends on the image format. With some formats, like PNG for example, you can include a transparency or alpha channel. Importing this type of image and placing it on a track above other events will reveal the bottom tracks through the transparent parts of the image. This is ideal for titles and any motion graphics. One other important aspect to deal with is image resolution and the timeline. To illustrate, I'll delete the graphic and the second video track, and we'll focus on the first imported still. Now, image stills don't typically respect the common resolutions used in video. Images can be any size, rectangular or square, and it differs greatly to whether you've used a camera, a phone, or digitally generated the image. To manage this, the entire image is scaled to the video preview when edited to the timeline. There is nothing wrong with this, but you can also resize and reframe parts of the still. Click the Event Pan and Crop button on the event. In the Video Event Effects window, the entire still is loaded, and the output frame surrounds the entire image, which resizes the still image to the video preview resolution. Since the image size and video preview are different resolutions, you get the black gaps on either side of the still. If you want the still to fill the video preview, first ensure you go to the first frame of the event to prevent unwanted animation. Next, right-click and choose Match Output Aspect. You can now move the output frame in the window and focus on specific parts of the still. To zoom in closer to the still, ensure the Lock Aspect Ratio button is turned on. Scale the output frame and position it over the point of interest. So it's relatively easy to use a still in the timeline and focus on what you'd like your viewers to see. But one extra benefit you're about to learn is that you can animate a move within the still using the same tools. Looking at the Video Event Effects window, if you haven't already done so, enable the Sync Cursor button to lock the animation editor with the timeline. Go to frame 1 for the start of the animation. Position the output frame where you'd like it to start. Next, move the timeline cursor to 3/4 into the event. Move the output frame to the finishing point, and you can also make the frame larger to see more of the still. Scrubbing the cursor or playing the timeline, you can see the animated move showing different parts of the image. The animation speed is constant, so it starts and stops at the same speed, which feels like a jerking motion. To create a more gradual acceleration and deceleration during the animated move, right-click the first keyframe and set it to Smooth. Playing the timeline again shows a much more pleasing animated move. Finally, whether you're showing a part of a still or animating a move within the still, the event can still be used as part of a composite. To demonstrate this, add a new video track to the timeline and move the image event to video track 2. We'll use some video as a background. Next, we will scale the still event and composite it over the background. Switch to the Video Effects window and locate the Picture-in-Picture effect. drag it onto the top event. You can move the still around and scale it into the frame. To enhance the composite further, we'll add a border to the event. Switch to the Video Effects window and locate the border effect. Drag the solid border preset to the still. To apply the border to the picture-in-picture effect instead of the whole frame, go to the Events Effects chain and move the border before the picture-in-picture. To finish this off, make the border thinner by decreasing its size. Being able to integrate images and graphics with video in the timeline is so useful. You can bridge gaps in footage, highlight specific details, and add dramatic emphasis and introduce content that may not be available as a moving image. In the next video, you'll explore another kind of timeline event. This one is called the adjustment event. See you shortly.